Hey guys, welcome back. So today I have a bit more of a chatty casual video. I want to basically do a favorites video where I talk about the anime I've been watching, my favorite manga, video games, even like my favorite figures that I've got, pre-orders that have gone up. Basically where I can just gush about things that I've been enjoying in the last month or so. I don't think I'm gonna keep this as a monthly thing, but maybe like a seasonal thing. So this will be the 2021 summer for me, but winter for the Northern Hemisphere favorites of that season. So I'll loosely place everything in categories, but I haven't really planned this out too well, so kind of winging it. But let's start with anime. So there's really two series that I'm watching right now that I'm like really excited about. The first of those is Run with the Wind. So this is an anime by Production IG Studios, and they've done some pretty significant series. And in my opinion, this is no exception. I think this series is amazing. So this anime is about a group of university students that unknowingly joined the university's track team when they sign up to live in that dorm. The captain of the track club, Haiji, kind of tricks them into doing this and then persuades them all to run in this thing called the Hakone Ekiden, which is a famous university marathon relay race in Japan. Of course, the catch is that not all of this group of students are runners. In fact, far from it, most of them have no running experience. So here's a nice itemized list of the top 3 reasons why I'm obsessed with this show. The first reason is it's set in university or college, and I think that's kind of rare, and that's kind of rare for sports animes, and I am loving it. It makes the characters much more relatable to me, and it kind of sets it apart from your more typical high school sports animes. Second is the characters. There are 10 main characters, and they are all so fleshed out and their own character, and they all get screen time. I feel like anyone watching this anime is gonna find like 1 or 2 characters that they themselves can relate to the most. And everyone's gonna have a different character, and I think that's just so cool. Like all of these 10 guys study different things, they have different motivations in life, they have different goals, and even the way that the 10 interact with the other 10, it's really well written, and the characters really carry the show. And thirdly, I'm obsessed with the show because it is so motivating to me right now. I actually started running myself before I realized the show was a thing, and then saw the show about running, and so I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. But I recently did the Couch to 5K program. Now I've finished that, and I don't know, just watching this show is like really motivating me to keep running and wanting to improve running. It was kind of funny. I thought I was like top shit because, oh, you could run a 5K. And then in the show, the guy that has the closest time to me is this guy, which is the worst one in the group. And I was like, wow, I guess I have a lot of work to do. So yeah, I think that third point was a more personal reason because it is weirdly motivational to me. But I'd highly recommend the anime if you like character-driven sports anime. It's really good. So the second anime is also weirdly a motivational one. It's Blue Period, so it's currently airing, so I'm only about 5 or so episodes in. So this anime is about a high school guy called Yaguchi, who is a fairly unmotivated high schooler that is actually pretty good at everything he does. And one morning he's in Shibuya and he sees Shibuya in a new light and he wishes to express it, and that's when he realizes that he can do that through art. So then he becomes really passionate about art and suddenly decides that he wants to get into the Tokyo University of Art School, which is very competitive with a super low acceptance rate. And that's kind of what the show's about. He joins the art club, meets people, shenanigans ensue. The most intriguing thing about me with this anime is Yaguchi's decision to kind of risk it all to try and get into art school to pursue his passions. So I'm sure a lot of people might have had these same decisions, but I remember myself deciding, oh, do I want to study like engineering or something a bit more creative like graphics design, because I do enjoy that stuff. And Yaguchi obviously made the decision to pursue his passion in the arts. And he does face challenges and is questioned about this decision. So it's a really interesting perspective to watch the show from. I have 2 volumes of this manga and I've read the first volume. I do think the anime adaptation could be a bit better, but I'm still enjoying watching it and seeing it on the screen. And I would recommend if you would like to be motivated and feel passionate about art. So it's either running or art. Like, that's where you have to choose what do you want to be motivated about this month. The other thing I've been watching this month is a rewatch of Breaking Bad. It's amazing. Enough said. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I love it. So that's probably why I've not watched much else anime. I've been binge watching that pretty badly. All right, next let's move on to more generic lifestyle favorites. And the first thing I need to mention is drawing. Kind of helped by Blue Period a little. I've started drawing a lot more this month. It's something that I decided to deliberately try and do. And the other motivating factor is that I was sent the screen bar computer monitor light from BenQ for me to check out. And I was expecting this to be really good to put on top of my monitor so I could draw on my desk with some good lighting. I already had pretty high expectations for this light since it came from a name brand, but it is way cooler than I thought it would be. Rather than a clip, it has this hinge system which attaches really nicely to the top of the monitor. You can even set different color balances using this little control dial. You get plenty of bright light from it for any activities that you want to do at your desk. Like I said, for me, I've been primarily drawing. The light bar feels very premium, and while it is a little on the pricey side, you do get a lot for your money. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description below and you can check that out. Thanks again to BenQ for sending that one out to me. The second lifestyle favorite is actually yoga. So I picked up yoga the same reason I picked up running, which is that I am a software engineer, so I sit at a desk for 8 hours a day. And that got me feeling very stiff, and so I decided to exercise more and really stretch my body out more, and yoga seemed like the perfect thing. So I take 1 or sometimes 2 yoga breaks during the workday. I take 10 minutes out, find a yoga video. There's tons of amazing ones on YouTube. Follow that, and then I always come back feeling super refreshed. Yeah, for some reason I feel like a lot of viewers would also spend a lot of time on the computer, so maybe try yoga out if you want to loosen up a little. The last lifestyle favorite is a bit of a dumb one. It is that Australia has finally gotten the Jujutsu Kaisen Uniqlo clothing line. And so I did go out and basically I bought so many of the designs. Like, yeah, I've been waiting like 6 months for Australia to get the stock in. I think we were waiting for this summer season. But now summer's here and the shirts are here and I love it. I get caught up with the rest of the world now. So the next favorite I'll be talking about is actually learning Japanese, and this is something that I've been meaning to do for a while now. I think it's something that most weebs have been meaning to do for a while now. You know, I want to watch anime without subtitles or read manga without translations, you know, feel like a god basically. And to do that, I've been using Rosetta Stone, which is also the sponsor of today's video. So in this hobby, there is a ton of content that's only in Japanese, whether that's anime, manga, even art books and doujins. And so obviously I've been learning Japanese so that I can enjoy this content more, or be able to read Pochi Sensei's tweets. So Rosetta Stone kindly gifted me a free trial, and that's what I've mainly been using to teach myself Japanese. Rosetta Stone has been slightly different to some of the other language learning apps I've used in the past because it actually teaches based off immersion. And what this kind of translates to is when I'm using the app, I actually feel like I'm a small child, I guess, like the way kids learn languages. So you kind of pick up words and sentence structures through context instead of just like a concrete explanation of things. And it's like a really cool way to trick your brain into learning a new language. I can definitely see myself continuing to use it to pick up more vocab and in general just get better at Japanese. The other thing I really like is the really short lessons is really nice for my super short attention span brain. It actually means I tend to pick it up like once or twice a day. If you use my link in the description down below, you can get a lifetime subscription for $179. And they also offer gift options as well, and hey, it's that time of year, so maybe you can give that special weeb in your life the gift of not needing to watch anime with subtitles. Thanks again to Rosetta Stone for sponsoring this video. Alright, next let's move on to video games. So I have 3 games that I wanted to talk about, and it's really funny because they're all thematically very, very different from each other. But the first one is Halo Infinite. So not gonna lie, I'm not actually a really big Halo fan. I've played the first Halo through with my boyfriend, but other than that, I don't know much. There's a big green Master Chief man, right? But I did try out the recent Halo Infinite multiplayer, and I'm enjoying it. It's good, it's fun, it's actually really fun. It has some problems around the monetization battle pass system. It seems kind of bad. And sometimes like melee hits registering has been a bit of an issue for me. But apart from that, it's a ton of fun, and I'm really enjoying the gunplay in the game. I think the last competitive shooter that I really enjoyed as much as this was Valorant, so if that was your cup of tea, then give this a go, you might like it. The next game I wanted to talk about is called Inscription. So Inscription is a game by Daniel Mullins, who also created the Hex and Pony Island, and he likes to make games that are a bit different. They're not what you expect. They don't really follow the rules of your traditional video game. They tend to get quite meta. So Inscription blends deck building roguelikes with escape room puzzles and a splash of horror just to keep things interesting. There's so many twists and turns in the games, and I'm not going to spoil anything because it's really best to go in blind. Yeah, I highly recommend this game if it looks like your cup of tea and you like when things get a little meta and unexpected. And if Inscription didn't look like your cup of tea, I think this next game would, because it is exactly on the opposite spectrum of vibes. This game is called Unpacking, and in this game you basically unpack boxes for our protagonist. The best part about this game though is when you discover things about our characters purely through the process of unpacking. You see the story and the life of the character unfold as you see the things that they're bringing with them as they're moving into different houses. Little things like which plushies do they always bring with them, what hobbies do they have at the time, and you even get to witness things like tragic breakups through unpacking their belongings. Only downside is that at retail price the game is a little expensive for how long it is, so I would wait for a sale, and if it looks like it's your cup of tea, give it a go. It's very, very cute. Next, let's move on to my manga favorites. So not actually a lot to talk about. I've not been reading too much, and the only one that's a standout to me that I've read recently is Liar Game. Liar's Game? Liar Game. Let me double check. Liar Game. So after watching Squid Game, I decided I needed more of the whole death game genre. So I ended up picking up Liar Game, which is more a psychological game than death game, but I've been really enjoying it. Liar Game is pretty old now. I think it was serialized in 2005, and I think it's a bit of a classic in the game genre. Like the name suggests, the manga is about our main character who gets invited to participate in the Liar Game. This is a game where basically players need to lie and betray the other players of the game in order to win large amounts of money. And if you lose the game, you instead incur a lifelong debt. I found the manga very addictive. I found the story very intense. But by far my favorite part about this manga is that the games and stories rely a lot more on logic than they do just like dumb luck. All of the strategy and the mind games that the various players in the game use are like fleshed out and actually described in the manga. And it's super interesting to me to think about what I would have done if I was in this game. And it's a little more realistic than thinking, oh, how would I cross that bridge in Squid Game? Because I probably wouldn't have, I would have just died. But at least in my game, there's this kind of strategy, mind games element to it, where it's not just random luck, life or death. The only issue for me is that the art in this manga is not that pretty, although sometimes this leads to character expressions that really do add to the story. But yeah, if you enjoyed like Squid Game and also maybe things like Death Note, I would recommend this one. All right, now I'll move on to, I guess, kind of the collection favorites. So first off is the favorite figure that I received this season, and that's going to have to be the Hao Shua Miku by Mythios. So I made a dedicated video unboxing this figure because she was my most anticipated figure of the year, and I think she definitely delivered. Hands down, this was no contest my favorite figure that I received. I think like in other months and seasons, it's a little bit more competitive. This month it was just, yep, she wins. Next, I want to talk about some of my favorite pre-orders that have either come up for pre-order or that I have personally pre-ordered. Some of these I'm still on the fence about, but I still wanted to gush about them. The first up is the Beni Tegutake figure from the Mushroom Girl series. Beni Tegutake is apparently short for the red vola Amanita mushroom, which was first described scientifically by a Japanese mycologist in 1939. We are now a mushroom history YouTube channel. But no, this figure is so cute. I am so in love with her. The only thing that's stopping me from pre-ordering her is that she's 18,000 yen, which seems very, very expensive. So I haven't bit the bullet, but I do think she looks adorable. My second favorite pre-order that came up was the Shion bunny version figure by Freeing. She's 25,000 yen, and I think I'm gonna pre-order this one. I like this bunny quite a lot. And now I feel like I need to get the Milim, and of course Freeing's like, I got you. Bare Legs Milim, up for pre-order too. Yeah, they're after our wallets, aren't they? The next favorite pre-order that's come up is the Soshu scale figure for 15,000 yen. I have pre-ordered her. This was one that I was waiting to pre-order, and I think she looks stunning. Cannot wait. Two runners up here, we've got the Toge Nendoroid. I did manage to snag him on Ami before he sold out. And next we have this Tagaki Makoto figure. I don't know if this is from anything, but I just think it looks really cute. So I like her a lot. I think I'm gonna get her as well. Next up, the favorite merch that I have seen go up for pre-order. For me, it's gonna be the Dim Sum Rilakkuma set. Oh, so cute. So I'm from Hong Kong, so I did grow up eating a lot of yumcha or dim sum or dim sims. I don't know what it is, westernized, but seeing Rilakkuma characters as some of my favorite kind of yumcha dumplings, I just had to have it. It's so like, it's weirdly culturally significant to me. Yeah, so I've got them pre-ordered. But I also wanted to mention that my other piece of favorite merch is the Christmas Rilakkuma plushie, but there's a big rip here because I got the payment request for him and I forgot about it, and then my order got cancelled. And when I went to rebuy him, someone else had bought him, so now he's sold out and I no longer have him pre-ordered. So big rip. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hunt this Christmas Kuma down somehow. It's gonna have to be a Christmas miracle. Next up, I want to talk about my favorite art books recently, and for me it has been two actually. Visions 2021 and Visions 2022, which actually just came out. So Visions is a compilation art book of over 170 artists. It's supervised by Pixiv, and primarily all the art in here is kind of anime style art. It's kind of the more anime themed version of the illustrations art books. Those have a bit more abstract non-anime art styles, which is really cool as well. But recently I've been drawing a lot of anime styles, so I've been using both of these as a great source of inspiration. And yes, the 2022 one just came out, so I highly recommend these if you're a big fan of anime art. They're great to find like kind of anime artists to follow on Twitter. I've definitely found my fair share. And it's really nice to find artists that you already are a fan of in the book. It's like, yeah, go! Like, this is Lamb Spread. I'm such a huge Lamb fan, and I'm like, yes, you go. Next, I'll talk about my favorite illustration doujin recently, and that is Ane Narimono 5.5. So this is the only safe for work Ane Narimono doujin. It's kind of a bit more of a fan book, but I've just been so obsessed with Pochi and Chio. I feel like I've got a lot of Chio figures coming in recently, so I've been loving this. So I've left this section till the end because it's not something that everyone's gonna care about, but I did want to talk about my favorite board games I've been playing recently. Over the last year, I've also got very much into collecting and playing different board games. It's been great fun to play at home in lockdown. So the first board game I've been playing a lot of is Gloomhaven. I have finally gotten around to playing it. It's a very intimidating board game. The box literally weighs like 9 kilograms, I think. But it's the #1 rated board game on Board Game Geek, which is kind of like my anime list, but for board games. And I'm addicted to playing it. I'm always like, can we play Gloomhaven? Can we play Gloomhaven? It's a very D&D-like kind of game, but it streamlines combat a lot by using cards instead of just actions. The most interesting thing is these cards control what your characters can do, and you start to lose the cards as you use them. And you can also use the cards instead of health sometimes. So the cards become this kind of built-in like stamina bar. And it's very interesting to decide how you want to manage that. The game has like over 90 different missions that you can do with different dungeon layouts and different quests. And I've only done kind of like 4 or 5 of the missions. I can't imagine even doing all 90, but that's why the game weighs 9 kilos. If a 9 kilo board game is a bit intimidating, there is now a PC port of the game, which looks really good actually. So if it looks like it's up your alley, check out either the board game or the game. And the next board game I've been playing a lot of is Azul. I think this is really popular already, but I just wanted to shout it out anyway. It's a bit of an abstract board game where you kind of choose which tiles to buy and collect, and you're trying to build like a mosaic to get the most points. I've mainly been playing this game with 2 players and I love it. It gets hilariously competitive, especially at the end when you can choose to end the game, but you're not sure if when you end the game you're even gonna win, and then you're looking at the other person's mosaic and oh, it's very tense. Also, the pieces of this board game look very delicious. They look very glossy and yummy, like forbidden snacks. Those are all of the random things I wanted to talk about. I hope you guys liked this video. I saw in my Q&A questions that I do get a lot of questions about, I guess, other stuff that I get up to in my life or other things that I enjoy. And I hope this answers some of that, or at least shed some light. It's a nice way for me to be able to connect with you guys in a way that isn't just about anime figures, although I did talk about anime figures in this video. I'm always down to talk about the things that I've been enjoying and to basically be able to gush about things. So let me know what you think of this video, if you want to see it again. Yeah, and also let me know, things you've been enjoying so far. Give me some suggestions. I would love to check them out. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you in the next one. See ya!